there is a chance that this is the lightest scrawler box I ever had in my hands. I would say watercolor pencils. Not sure why. Oh, this time we only get 3 sheets. Okay, it's arches. Forget about it. Yes, we get 3 sheets of arches. Watercolor paper. Whatever. Oh, it's a discovery pack. So we have different papers. That is interesting. So we need another paper to try out the pencils first. And I already assume those are pencils, but oh no, they are not. Milk chocolate covered toffee. We have a fine liner, water and fade resistant, and once again we have watercolor in a tube, which I might be mistaken, but it's not that long ago that we had something like that. I have to go through my boxes, but yeah. Okay, I don't think that we need to try them out that much because I assume they are not that different to other watercolor tubes we had, and I think we even had the same brand. I have to go through my stuff. Yeah. The Arches Variety Pack. I'm not impressed by this box because these are samples you get from Arches themselves, and I am not sure if they had to pay anything for those. Maybe they had to, maybe they don't. If they had to, okay, Arches paper is expensive. We have, I assume, completely hot press. Hot press? Cold press? No, cold press. Because it's very rough. We have one that is cold pressed but still rough, and we have one that is hot pressed. So the hot pressed one is the smoothest one. They are nice, but yeah, with those and these, I don't really see that we get the value. I might be wrong, but yeah, I will go through that a little bit and see. Matty Burnham is the artist of today. But I have to admit, I don't think that we get our money's worth this month. I will go through the scrawlzine and we will see us when I'm done with that, and I'm ready to tell you my final judgment. Or, no, I tell you what I want to do with them, and then when I'm done with doing something, then I will tell you my final judgment. You know how it is. Until later. I want to complain for a minute. Let's assume the Arches Variety Pack, Sample Pack, had to be bought. I get a pad of 12 pages for €9, 93 cents, yes. In German, it's the other way around. Anyway, €9, 93 cents. If we are generous, €2, 48 cents for the paper. The liner, €2 and 40 cents. Those were each €2, 58 cents. So together we are around €7, 74 cents. And I first forgot to add the brush. This frickin' brush I found for €8.76. Without the brush, they would have a win of over 50%. With the brush, we only are around €5 that they gain. But let's be honest. It's highly possible that a box like the scrawlrbox got the paper from Arches for free because Arches thought, yes, we can advertise for ourselves again. And I don't think they pay full price. So at least give us a palette for it, because we now have the 3 watercolors that we have to provide a palette for. If you decide to give us these few things, at least give us a plastic palette or maybe even a porcelain one. But yeah, it's the first time that I have to say I'm very disappointed in the scrawlrbox. We are not talking about the products themselves, because they are possibly fine or even good or even very good. But yeah, then at least give us 2 pages of each, one where the print isn't on it, because yes, I can use the backside, but still, what? No, that is by far the laziest box I ever had from the scrawlrbox, which I think is a shame. Because I always look forward to the scrawlrbox and I always think their boxes are quite nice, but this is disappointing, to say the least. Anyway, let's still do something with it. The theme is safe place or something like that. Happy place. I'm not going to follow that because right now I don't feel very happy. I'm possibly doing something Halloweeny on this because I feel like it. But yeah, I need to get out some pencils to do sketches and other paper, because we only have 3 pages, so I won't ruin these. I'm going to do some last details, like just a little bit of veins on the wings. And I again allow myself to use that didn't come with this box because I need to do a little bit of highlights, at least in her eyes. Let's talk about the box. One by one. Arches paper. Highly likely it's a great paper. I have to admit, for watercolor, I don't see the difference to any other watercolor paper. It might be more light fast or whatever, but if I had painted this on another paper, it would possibly have looked very similar, if not the same. So I never really got the expensive paper thing. I bought it when I made a project together with Rainbow Fine Arts because she prefers this paper, but she uses the hot press one for colored pencil painting, so it has tooth for longer, something like that. For watercolor, I don't see the point. It doesn't look that different to any other watercolor paper I used. There might be a difference, but I might not be the target audience to notice that. The paints. What can I say? It's watercolor paints. It's, yeah, while I was mixing, I noticed you should try out the paints first, as I normally do, because I didn't notice that it's yellow ochre. Because of that, all of the mixed tones are a little bit muddy, which in the drawing I did looks quite nice, but if I had just assumed its primaries, it would have looked a little bit muddy if I used it for a not fall-esque drawing. And yes, I decided for a fall-esque drawing and not a Halloween drawing because don't know. So those are nice, but if you give us 3, please give us at least a black or a white or both, because that would have made it a little bit more value, I think. Brush. It's, again, I'm not the target audience. I'm not a fine art person. I grew up painting and drawing with the cheapest materials possible because we couldn't afford any. You know these child boxes where you have crayons and oil pastels sometimes and watercolor pencils and the cheapest materials, but you have a variety? Yeah, those were the ones I started making art with. Only thanks to Rainbow Fine Arts, I started using more expensive things, and thanks to the boxes. And I have to admit, when it comes to brushes, I haven't really noticed a difference. Yes, this gives us a nicely fine tip, but that is a brush that is cheaper as well. Or I use a smaller brush, because when I think about this being €8, my skin crawls a little bit. So I'm sure it is a great brush for someone who really knows the difference and knows how to use brushes. But with me being, first of all, self-taught, and second of all, self-taught on very cheap materials, no. And the fine liner, yeah, it's a fine liner. It's like every fine liner before and after it. It's, yeah, you needed to let it dry during the outline stage and the watercolor stage, which is normal. So I don't know what else to say, but it's a fine liner and it worked nicely. Overall, the whole box worked together. I would have expected more from the scrawlrbox because I'm used to the scrawlrbox giving us more. If this would have been an upgrade box, I would have been just as judgy, maybe even a bit more. But yeah, I think it's a nice box. It's just a little bit too little for my liking. I prefer if I see that I get the value, and for this box I don't. Still a nice box, could do something rather nice with it, I think. Let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. Are you a little bit less harsh with this box than I am, or do you see it in a similar way? Thank you for spending some time with me today, and I hope you have a great time, and we will see us in another video. Until then, bye!